So in this lecture, we are going to look at user-defined functions. In the previous lecture, we looked at built-in functions in Python, and the whole idea behind functions is functions gives you the ability to package your code so that you can always reuse them. We looked at built-in functions like the math functions, and like we saw in the previous lectures, when you write a function, you have parentheses to show that this is a function, or in most cases, you hear people call it a module. We have looked at the math function, we look at the range function, we have looked, and we'll be looking at a lot more other functions as we go forward. But functions, as with built-in functions, they have this kind of syntax. So first, to start writing your own functions or user-defined functions, we start with the def keyword, def, which stands for define, and then you have a function name. So you have a function name and you have your parentheses. Now, this parentheses is where you put the parameters or the arguments. So you could put parameters or the arguments that will that this function will take. And like I mentioned, we always have our colon, which indicates that we want to enter a block of code. Remember, like I said, a function gives you the ability to package your code. So most of the code that we have been writing so far during the previous lectures, you can take that and turn into functions. And we're going to see that in some of the examples. So once you put the colon at the end, you tap the enter key, or if you don't tap the enter key, you have to indent. So if we were here, you have to indent your function with 4 spaces, or if you're at the end here, you just tap enter, it will also indent, and everything you type within this indentation will be scoped to this function. And once you have defined your function name, you have statements, and these statements could be it could be one statement, it could be multiple statements, but this will include what you want your program to do. And once you have finished writing your program, you'll return a value. Now, the return keyword is very important in functions because functions, in most cases, don't print, although some functions might print, but functions return always a value. And it is this value that is returned that you use further in your program to do other things, or if maybe when you are importing the program. So it will always return a value. Now, if you don't use the return keyword, what it will return will be none. So if you don't use the return keyword in your functions, and we're going to see that in some of the examples, if you don't use the return keyword, then the none value will be returned to you. So this is the syntax of writing functions. So you use the keyword to define your function. You give your function name. We saw how to create variable names in previous examples. And your functions could or could not have parameters. We saw in the range function that it comes without any parameters. You define your parameters. And within the body of the function, you could have statements and then the return value. So we're just quickly going to look at an example of how that could work. So we could define a function. We call this function add 2 numbers. So we want to add 2 numbers. This is the name of my function. The name of my function is add 2 numbers. And it will take 2 parameters because I want to add 2 numbers. And like I mentioned, you put your column. And once I press the enter key, it gives me the scope of this function. Now within this function, I'm defining 2 variables. The first variable is num1. It will hold the first parameter. This is the first parameter that we define. And I define another variable called num2, and I want num2 to hold the second parameter or argument that I have in my function. And now I have 2 numbers, and the first number to assign for this both for the parameters. And now I can calculate. I create another variable to calculate the sum. Sum will be num1 plus num2. You see that within the function, I don't actually have to define what the parameters will be. This will be for the user, for another program using, or when I call the function. So once I have defined this variable, I use the return keyword to say, return, give me back the sum. So anytime you want to calculate 2 numbers, you can use this function called add2, and it will always give you the sum. Now we are done with our function. You see, when I press the enter key, it takes me out and brings me to the beginning of the line here. Because I am out of the function. I've written the return keyword, and so PyCharm knows that I have finished with my function. Now remember, these variables that we have here, they belong only to this function. Anybody or anything that you write outside of this function, they cannot use these variables directly. These variables are scoped to the function. So now, if I wanted to calculate, say, the value of so I can create a variable. I say calc 2 numbers. Okay, I create another variable to find 2 numbers. Now, to use this function, I need to call this function, and this is how the function can be used. So I call this function. The function is called add2. You see, PyCharm already knows about the function and is expecting 2 variables. And so the first variable, I want to calculate sum of 2 numbers. The first variable I want to calculate, say, 5, and the second one is perhaps 6. So now I want to calculate the sum of 2 numbers. I'm trying to use my function. And if I now print calc 2 nums, let's see what the result will give. So I run this program, and so my result is 11. If I change this number and I put here 10 and I print, my result now is 16. If I change this number and I put here 116, or I change to that and I say run, that is the value that I'll get. So because I have defined a function, I can always use this function. I just need to call the function with the parameters that I define. And here you remember, I defined 2 parameters for the functions. We are going to look at more complicated examples, but this is the basic syntax of writing functions. And you define your function. It could or not have parameters, and then anything that is defined within the function, the statements that are within the function, and then you use the return keyword to get the sum. And I could also have just done this like this without using the creating a variable. I could have just said print, and I put I print the value of that without using a variable, and it should still give me, because of indentation. You see, unindented does not match, so I need to indent, and once I have fixed that, it should give me back the same result. So this is how functions work. We are going to look now at a more complex example. So we're going to look now at a not a quite advanced example, but something similar. What I want you to retain from creating function is that it's a way to package and reuse your code. So assuming you had a task to find to write a function that would display the factors of a given number. So you want to find all the numbers of the factors of a given number that a user will give to you, and you have to write a function with that. Now you can also solve that without writing a function, but like I mentioned, the advantage of doing that as a function is that you can always reuse this code and package it, and even import this function, as we will see in some other examples that I've provided in the exercise files, which contain the solutions of how to import the functions. Now we are going to do a lot more advanced examples going forward. So if you wanted to write a function, say, let me just enter a comment here, say function, let me start with a comment, say function to find factors of a given number. So this is the function I want to write. Again, we use our def keyword, which stands for define. So I can call my function, I can call factors. And now, normally when you create your functions, you ask yourself, do you want your functions to have a parameter? And we're going to explain that again in the lecture notes. And when we start looking at advanced functions, user-defined functions. So you could have parameters by default, you could have functions without parameters, this all depends on what you're trying to achieve. So we want to find the factors of a given number. So we can assume that because we want to find the factor of a given number, we will give this function will need one parameter, which will be the number we're trying to find the factor. Again, because we are writing a block of code, we have our function, our code is indented. So what we have to do here is we are going to use another built-in function to find the factors of it, to loop through this number that we're finding the factor. So we're going to use the range function. So for I in range, so we define the I variable. For those who have not looked at the loop lecture, please go back and revise it if needed. I've explained there the for loop and also the range function, and we are going to loop through this number that we are going to get. So we have the beginning where we use the range function, and we have the end, and at the end we are going to, rather than just looping through A, we are always going to add one at the end of the number. So any number that we'll get, we'll start with 1, we loop through it, and then we add 1 to it, and we continue doing the same process. And again, when we want to write a block of code, when we use the for loop, we always have to use our semicolons. So what happens when we loop through it? If the number that we're looping through it, say means A, I also explained the modular function, which means if A divided by this number I, we use the double equal sign to say is equal to, if it's the remainder, where we use the modulus, if the remainder of A, the number that we'll get, divided by each of the numbers as we are looping through it, if the remainder is 0, then what do? Because we are writing again a bunch of code, we put our semicolon, then we print I. Now, the reason I am doing this kind of example is to show, because I told you a function always returns something. But here I am printing. You see, when I press the enter key, it doesn't take me out of the function because I'm not returning anything. Now, you could also write your function without returning. But even though I did not put the return keyword, this function will return none. So now, because I am printing inside the function, if I use the print keyword and I call my function, so my function is called factors, and I want to find the factors of, this is my function, and say I want to find the factors of 30, and I want to print all the factors of 30. Let me run that code. You see, it will give me 3 is a factor of 30, 1 is a factor of 30, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, 30, and at the end I have a none that is printed as well. And the reason is because I have used prints within the function. It is returning already none, and then I come outside of the function. When calling the function, I use again the print function. So if I remove the print function, because we're already printing within the function itself, it should solve my problem. So if I run here this, and so we see it doesn't create, we don't have the non-printed again. And this could have still been, you could have come here and created a number, and you say num is equal to 30, and rather than saying factors 30, you say factors num, and if I run that, it should give me the same answer. So, and that is why in most functions you don't want to print within the functions, because printing can be done also outside. But this, I took this example just to show you that you could also print within your functions, but then when you're calling the function outside, you don't need to use the print keyword. So this is how you could now reuse this code to calculate the factors of any given number. So num now could become 15, it could be 40, it could be anything. So if we have here 12 and you run it, it will give you the factors of 12. And I show in several examples how you could print on the same line. If you look at the previous lecture, I'll leave that to you guys. But remember, anytime you're writing your function, you have to define the function. You have a function name. It could or not have parameters. We're going to look at more advanced functions in the Python advanced course. And then once you define, you have your statements. You see here we have a for loop, we have an if statement, we are using a print. All of this, in the previous example, we created variables, but here we haven't created variables. We're going straight with our for loop, and these are the statements. And then because we did not use the return word, what has been returned from this function is none. So if I use the print keyword here, it's going to print that none. So if I want to avoid that, I'll just have to call the function. When you call a function, you always have to look the number of parameters this function is expecting. So if you call this function without any parameters, it's going to throw an error. So if I just say function, if I call factors without the parameters, it will say missing one required positional argument A, because when I was creating the function, I said this function requires a parameter, and now I am calling the function without any parameter, and PyCharm is saying it is missing one required positional argument. So if I didn't have a an argument here, then it will not throw an error. So you could basically come here and you say define A, or you say input A, num is equal to A, and then you now come, because A is not defined here, you could say A is equals to 15 and stuff. But because we have defined our parameter here, when we are calling this function, we always need to tell Python that we always need to give that positional parameter. And this is how you would write your functions. So I've solved some other additional examples in the exercise files, and yeah, that is about functions. We are going to look at more advanced functions going forward.